want to come up?
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody.
So,
It's 1 PM. Let's call the special session to order. It's for Polk County Commissioners Court. So pursuant to Chapter 552 of the Texas Government Code, the public has been given notice that we will meet today for special session to engage. So at this time, anyone in the public that would like to engage or participate, you are certainly welcome to. We have some maps. Did we make maps for other people?
No, I can make copies.
Yeah, let's make copies. Anybody in here want a map, interested in a map? Looks like everybody. That was simple.
I'll make 10.
That's okay.
that's what I was told.
Show it up from your dear, please.
That's right. It's called casual college. Is anything wrong with that? Casual
Nothing
college.
at all,
That's
nothing
what
at
I was
all.
wondering.
That's where I'm headed.
If it was, what can I say?
As soon as this is over. Okay, basically, we met with Eric McGee, who was our consultant and who helped provide, let's pass it on out to them. Oh, well, she's making copies,
Yeah.
okay. For him to provide input. I will say this, I have never been through this process on this side. I've been through this process on that side. And it's based on census tracts. And so when the federal government sets a census tract, then for you to pull one piece of property from that census tract, then the whole census tract has to go that direction. So that was, I know these guys have done it before, but I had not.
It was a little different this time too.
Oh, well, yeah, because
Yeah.
it changes in the statute.
Yeah.
But, so nevertheless, this was, the discrepancy that we had is that we had to remove certain number of the people or residents, the population that were in precinct 1, because precinct 1 was too high. And we had to add residents or population to precinct 3. Those were the two that created the discrepancy. So based on what we were able to accomplish, we got everything balanced as best we could. And so at this time, if there's anyone who would like to present information for the court to consider, then please do so. Yes, ma'am.
Also, in keeping in mind that we had to maintain
Yeah, we had to maintain the minority. We had to maintain the numbers.
This is just kind of what I'm gonna be going off of, so I have it,
Okay,
I have an extra one here. Okay. The only problem I have with what has went on here is we've had problems with the courtroom. Me and you went over it, and we were gonna utilize this courtroom for jury trials for the next 3 years while while the asbestos and all this was going on. So when we got the maps, this is now precinct 3. So this takes this out of my precinct. So I cannot use it as a courtroom because the law says, and it's the second page of the law, it says the justice of the court piece may not be housed or conducted in a building located outside the court's precinct, except in a disaster which we are not in. So I have to do it there. There is no other building here. This first page is I had the fire marshal come out. We knew there wasn't enough room, it was a logistic nightmare, so I had him come out and do a occupation max for our courtroom in precinct 4. The most people we can put in there is 10.63, so of course we round up to 11. But you have to seat 12 per jury panel members to even begin a jury trial. So we can't even sit the jury in there to pick from with no participants in that courtroom legally. Most jury trials are starting from 16 to 20 participants at any one time. And that's the minimum zone. So we have the problem of the courtroom's not big enough for a jury trial, but the 6th Amendment to the Constitution is that people have a right to a jury trial.
okay, so at this point in time, have you had a jury trial
I
already?
have 17 pending. They start October because November and December, my court date's set by the Commissioner's Court following holidays. Right now, with the way that so many courts are going, it's hard for the DA's office to piece out another day that says you can have a jury trial here, because they have to provide a prosecutor for all the courts.
Yes.
So it's kind of, so we have the 4th Thursday of every month is set as my justice court day. So that's when we'll be having them, but Thanksgiving falls on the 4th Thursday, Christmas falls on the 4th Thursday, so our stuff would start January. And I
Okay,
have 17 jury trials alone pending.
So if we cut this block out,
that's 400 plus people.
this voting block,
Yes, sir, because it's a census block. Because we did go ahead and send the information to Eric. Okay, I do have a question.
but we created didn't we create one bringing it into, we just cut it out, bringing it up for JP, one?
And this whole thing wasn't one block, was it?
This just brought to my attention too, so I didn't
Yeah,
know.
well, okay, but let's back up a second.
Yes, they were all day, so we could get
Because
that.
technically, at this point in time, because of COVID, we are still in emergency situations.
Not as far as jury trials or anything else.
No, I know everything has to continue, everything has to resume, but what I'm saying is in terms of location, okay, in terms of where you have it.
I think that goes out April 2022 at this point, so that would give me till April to have 3 jury trials, but I would still have 14 pending.
Okay.
And I mean, once we do this, it's the next 10 years, so there's,
And we're cut out of usage of this building for 10 years for precinct 4. Once we get the courthouse renovated and they move back out of here.
Yeah, there'll be 3 years.
yeah, it'd be
Well,
precinct
3 years,
Three
but like I
years.
say, there'll be 7 years that precinct 4 won't be able to use this then.
Well, we
Until
don't
we
know
get-
what we're gonna do with this building,
Well, I
right?
understand, but
Yeah,
we
we don't-
Well, we just know in 3 years, y'all are moving there, and then either we're gonna do asbestos and do whatever y'all gonna do here, or we'll have
But
to
you'll still be
utilize.
able to use that building, that's what I'm getting at. You'll still be able to use our courtroom, because precinct 4, every precinct comes to the courthouse.
Not by this, I think we took
No,
that out the last time, we don't
last
touch it.
time.
Okay, hold on,
We-
Carrie spoke to Eric, so let's let
So,
Carrie.
yeah, I'm sorry, I spoke with our legal counsel, so I'm very familiar with this. As far as using the courthouse, every single JP can use the courthouse, it's technically a neutral zone, the courthouse and the judicial center.
Okay, so that's not an issue.
So that is not an issue,
Well, it's still an issue though,
But-
because if you do that, then you have to provide me an office at that courthouse, because you have to, the terms you said, and I didn't actually print out that law, but I can get it printed for you. The terms you said, so when you hold justice court, what it says is, you set the terms of it, it's to be held at the JP's office unless otherwise. So that would be, I mean, it's still the same difference. We're still looking at 10 years without a working jury trial court in precinct 4, which I don't think is fair to
Yeah,
our
cause,
people at all.
no, and we're gonna try to find a way to accommodate, because that very first section A says it, you know, you can improve or equip the building or rooms, other than the courthouse.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
it would have
but
to
we just
be-
have asbestos here, so that's why we can't just poof it into existence over there, because we have to go do all the asbestos flooring.
Right,
So it's kind of one of those, we're gonna catch 22 here, but once we finalize this, it's the next 10 years catch 22. I mean, we know y'all are here for at least 3 years, and then y'all are moving back, but then we don't know what's gonna happen here or there, because we have the asbestos there that we
yeah,
have
but
to-
then you would have access to the courtroom, at the courthouse.
It's still in the law where it's supposed to be held. It's just not in the one I printed for you. There's another, it's in the government code.
If there
Yeah,
was
no,
any
it's-
way
it's
to
right
do
here.
this,
Can we just cut this building out?
No, we have to take the whole census block. And the whole census block is 400,
we got
Well,
zeros all
And then I
around
can
us.
explain that also. So this census block is 452 people,
Yeah,
but you
that's
can't
good.
just take this one census block, because there's also, you'd be cutting out all these other blue sections that are here. You have to take this 75 people, this 67 people.
Yeah, but you see all these zeros?
All of these would have
See-
to get turned to red.
Did you see all these zeros in these blocks right here, where we're at?
And there's no people at this block, but.
Zero where we're at, zero above us, zero
No, sir,
beside
that's-
us.
That's across the
That's
road.
the,
No,
no,
sir.
that's the church and the
That's
cemetery.
over there.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
not here.
that's what I'm saying, but you got all these zeros, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
but
just
those,
looking.
those don't fall in that census block.
So-
Those don't fall in this one.
I understand about the part about census block, but I'm just trying to figure.
So that second page on there does show all of that
So-
land that's there would have to get moved into precinct 4. And that would put us, if we just did that one change, that would put our deviation at 13%.
Yeah,
So
we'd
we
go
would
back
get
at
it up.
13.
Yeah, I know we can't move, as tight as we were, we can't move 452 people.
Nope.
And it would actually be
Because
closer to
our
800
government tells us
people.
that, our federal government tells us that,
Right.
not us. It's
Okay.
not us up here making those.
Okay, so Jamie,
Okay.
how much space do you need? I mean, has our fire marshal looked at it?
Our fire marshal referred me to the city one because he's out. So that's why the city fire marshal came out and did it. But it's the same occupations code.
Yeah,
It's-
no, I know
It's
that.
not gonna change it. If you look at, so you can fit 11 now, you probably have to double what we have.
Okay, so let's.
So you have to do 850 instead of 425, and that would probably accommodate everything we need.
Well, so that's my point. So I guess my point is that if need be, what the court can decide is to go ahead and accommodate some space. We're tight on space all the way around though in the county.
Yeah, it's because it's kind of
Yeah, so we
it's horrible
don't-
timing, but it is what it is.
Well, I guess my point is we can, what the court can do is commit that the minute, you know, that we can, or the minute that there's some space available, that we go ahead, regardless of the asbestos, just go over the top of the asbestos, which is what the court has agreed to in the past, and create some space for Judge Jones to have, Judge Richardson to have, in the other building. And that way, we're not completely going back into a 13% skew, which we cannot do, in this case.
But how long are we talking about before we can do that? Because we've put these people off.
Well, for now, we let
COVID
you come
2
here,
years. Yeah.
you know, temporary,
When does this actually go into effect?
2020,
Now,
It would, it's
It goes into
essential.
now.
Yeah, it
As soon
goes
as the
into
order
20.
passes.
So it's when y'all vote on it,
2022,
so
yeah.
we can't come here. As soon as you vote on it, you're in precinct 3 here.
well, what did Eric have to say about that?
Utilizing the space at the judicial center or the courthouse. So,
be the only neutral place.
yeah.
What about the EOC, the room back there?
It might be big enough, we can look at it.
For
it's
temporary.
gonna
The
interrupt.
Mac room?
In there where the monitors are,
everybody
the Mac
sits.
room, yeah. The EOC where all the
Benches are.
benches are,
Yeah.
are over there. And then that way it won't be, you know, your office will still be in that same building too. This twice as big as your courtroom.
And it might be big enough.
So while we're in here, is it considered a neutral zone? If the county judge is housed there, is it considered a neutral zone?
It's by precinct boundaries.
Well,
Ours is by precinct boundaries, the way I understand it.
Yeah, go call
Yeah,
Eric,
because
because if
this
this is considered a neutral
This is
zone, because it's a
commissioner's
court.
Yeah, this is our courtroom, so it
Yeah,
should
this is
be
gonna be a neutral zone.
D of it says it can't be outside the court's precinct, which that
Well,
would be,
this-
but this would
But
be
if it's
3, so
neutral,
that's
then-
No,
outside.
but this is a neutral zone, because this is the commissioner's.
Well, if it is, then that'd be great, we can still use this one.
I think.
But
you're-
I've not
I
heard of
think-
that, so.
I think you're good. I think as long as we are
I sure
here.
don't know, but,
Yeah,
I don't either. I
I guess
just
she's gonna
wanna-
go call, so we'll see
She's
what she.
gonna go call.
I mean, if we
Okay.
can use the courtrooms at the judicial center or there for it,
Well, once
Yeah.
again, it becomes,
Well,
if
this
the
is-
county judge is here, but
Yeah.
she's here now, so
Yeah,
if
but-
this is neutral, you'd be okay for
Yeah.
now.
that's
It's just-
3 years away, freeing up space over there.
Well,
till
we're
you get
letting
the
her,
old
she's
courthouse.
utilizing this, that's the whole
Yeah,
point.
this
All
is
right, hang
neutral.
on.
Just a moment, I do have Eric McGee on the phone, on speaker.
they got all kind of courtrooms over there that we use.
Eric, the question is, while the county judge's office is held in this building where we're at, is this considered neutral zone? So that the JP for precinct 4 would continue to be able to use this for her jury trials?
Well, the problem really is that it's not a true governmental zone because of that weird census block.
Because of what?
Because of the weird census block. Is the,
352 people live there.
right, but we're looking at, where, she would be able to hold it at that courthouse or judicial center, even though they're not technically in precinct 4. But they're considered neutral zones because there's 0 population there. So while we're here,
They're
this
just
is,
governmental buildings, yeah.
so this is not.
It's not,
Okay.
not a neutral.
Question for him.
Encompass like the county government seat in that census block.
Okay.
I mean, it was carved out in any way we would be able to do it, it's just not currently carved out. The census block itself is not a neutral zone, because there's still 352 people in there, or how many ever there were.
Okay, Tommy has a question. Hold on.
Yeah, I think you might add, we can't carve this city block out of that census block, right, Eric?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, y'all need anything else?
Not right now.
No, but I may call you right back,
Keep your
Eric.
phone
Some
close.
remodeling money, but keep your phone handy.
All right. Thank you, Eric.
That might be a possibility. It's gonna be, we can probably bring them in from the outside so they could lock their door there and keep emergency management separate while we're using it.
Yeah,
We just
let
have
us,
to
we'll
see.
look for a way to solve it in the building for you.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we all know we're crushed
Yeah,
for space.
well, it really
because-
wasn't a thing, and I didn't, this got sent out Tuesday, and then Wednesday I had interviews in court all day, so
You're
I didn't
fine.
even look at it, and I called her this morning, I said, oh, we got a problem. So then I
Well,
started
and here,
looking.
we were being so careful, making sure everyone's home was in there, making sure we weren't cutting people out, making sure
Yep.
the offices were where they needed to be. Okay, so then, in that case, let us go ahead, with the courts, I mean, we can't make that decision right now.
Okay.
But we will put it on the agenda with the court's indulgence for us to take a look at what, even if we temporarily close doors down there, you see what I'm saying, do something that'll accommodate Judge Richardson's, concerns. That'd be okay if we put it on the next agenda?
I mean, without being able to knock anything out of this census block, we're gonna have to do something.
We will. We'll figure something out down there. Sorry, Jamie, that was the one thing that did not cross
Oh,
our
it's,
minds, obviously.
it's fine, I mean, wait until it came out, we didn't know.
When I heard about it, I thought, oh, it wouldn't be a big deal, we just bust this block out of it because
That's what I was hoping would.
there's 0 people here, but we can't.
It's wrong, yeah, it's not the 0 people one.
It's the rest of them.
Well, the cemetery has 0 current voting residents, but
And the
That's
church
it.
Are
property.
you sure about that?
we hope so.
That one's been there a while.
Okay, is there
Some of them people
anyone
vote still vote,
else?
probably.
Okay, so the maps as they are laid out, the same maps are followed by the commissioners, which will also be, the JPs and the constables. So there's no variation if all of the maps fall along the same lines in terms of the other elected officials. And there weren't
We don't
huge.
have a map on Indian Hills.
Don't have a map on it?
That is basically the only other option. If we were to cut out this 450, or this 700 and something people from this block, the only other way to make it equal was to add Indian Springs to precinct 3.
No, I said Indian Hills.
Indian
Oh, I'm
Hills.
sorry.
Saying that right in the middle of 4, haven't
Indian
Hey,
Hills,
Indian Reservation is too.
Yeah, it's coming right
We
out.
could do that, Mill.
No, no.
We have to go
And
back.
if
No,
we
we
were
can't
going to
do
do
that.
that, we wouldn't be able to do that today.
no.
We would not be able to do that today.
Yeah,
It
you're
would
right.
have to be
We'd have to have
reposted.
another
It would have to have
hearing.
another
Yeah.
hearing.
You're correct, we couldn't do that today,
Get
or
the
next
vote.
week, or next year.
No, sir, we not.
Y'all might do that
I think
without
we
y'all,
got your answer, Mel. Okay,
So Mr. Vincent and I got the
but Nothing against
subdivision.
anybody over there in Indian Hills, but I just don't want that many more roads.
does anybody else in here have a question that we need to answer?
This is just the optional.
Yes, sir.
Later on, when do the individual voting precincts, the boxes get drawn up?
It is my understanding that Shalana will visit with the 2 party chairs, or who else is on your committee? How do y'all decide on the voting boxes? They have limits to the
That
sizes.
should go through the voter registrar, I would assume, since
Yeah.
she's on the voter registration.
Okay, so that'll have to go through Leslie Burks, because she's your voter registrar.
On these maps, depicting these maps right here. This color coordination got anything to do with the precinct lines?
And green's yours.
One second, I'm sorry.
Yellow's 2, pink
Blue's
is
mine.
1, blue is 3.
Do I need to push back on speaker here?
That's why I was saying,
Okay, hold on.
none of these show Indian
Oh,
Hills.
I've got
They
Eric
were
on
just showing
speakerphone
down.
again.
Well, it's showing
Okay, hold
here.
on just a second, what?
I've got Eric on speakerphone. Go ahead.
Okay, cause I don't remember what's on the other side of y'all's building, but is there a way that we can define that regional health building where it will not encompass any population?
Yes,
Yeah.
this whole block
Yes.
right here is.
I mean, if we could just cut out this building, but there's not a street on the other side of this building, if that's what you're asking.
Just a landline,
Not behind us, though.
just a landline.
I mean, yeah, it is, so there's not a,
Big partition wall, yeah, there's a house, yeah, there's the big wall and no,
but there's no street
no,
behind.
there's no street.
No, sir, there's no street.
On 3 sides.
Well, it's hard to carve up a census block where we don't have an identifiable, okay, this is just, I'm brainstorming here.
We run between a creek and a
If the
street.
court wants to, I will change the order to say, well, no, we don't have to change the order. I will have to create a description for the boundary there to carve out the building and put it back in 4.
There's a creek that runs off 190, a drain, under the highway to the east of this, Garrick, to the back property, right beside this building. Then there's a street on the west side and 190 on the south side. There is a big retaining wall on the north side. So you have 3 good boundaries, you just on that north boundary.
Okay.
Can't just use a plat.
And that's,
We can attempt to do it, but you may be subject to a challenge, but maybe not if we define it very, very clearly.
there's zeroed out, there's no residents here.
Yeah, without any residents, who would challenge?
Yeah, and you're,
That's true. It's just, you would be surprised at how, it's not really the challenge that issue, it's to throw the whole thing out. Yeah, I think there's a way to do it, with a very clear description attached to the map.
yeah.
And y'all just approve it on that basis.
Okay, so could you get us the order written that way? Because that would certainly make life easier on all of us.
I didn't catch that, can you repeat it, Jerry?
Would you be able to get us the order written that way, because it would make it a lot easier on all of us?
No, it's not gonna be the order's gonna be fine, it's gonna be the plan that's attached to the order, is gonna have a description on the back of it.
Okay,
That'll work.
Yeah, we make the drain.
Yeah, the map that's attached, I think it's called Exhibit 3, is that right, Jerry?
on the order?
Yeah, it'll say like, the proposal is not.
Bill.
Report is attached here too.
Indian Springs is in blue.
Yes, exhibit 3, proposal 1.
Okay.
That's the
So then
proposal.
part of that will have that detailed explanation of that carve out.
Well, we don't have that.
It's just tricky because.
That's the
it's
proposal, I mean, that is.
There's no population in
See
it,
it.
but
As far as I'm concerned.
it does.
You see how it is right there.
It's a definable building right there on
They
the
got
corner.
Indian Springs in your precinct.
Yes.
They sure do.
And you're
Well, where's
technically
the
not
map of the whole
required,
thing?
you're technically not allowed to
Yeah, because you need to.
Well, let's see,
divide up
we
a
got
census
a
block,
problem.
but if you're telling me that we have at least, I know we have one good boundary, which is 190, then there's a street immediately to the left-hand side of the building. And then you're telling me there's a creek to the right-hand side of the building.
Unnamed.
None of that would encompass any citizen, any resident. I think we'll be able to try to craft
That's
something.
that.
We have 3 streets, as boundaries to this building. It's just on the north side of the building, it's,
Property line,
there's a
retaining
there's a
wall.
property line, there's a retaining wall on the north side of the building.
And if we use that creek or that stream,
Old Wood building.
there's not a house on this side of it, the houses are all on the other side, on Old Wood.
Yeah, so that
If
may
you
work.
connect it to 190 and come up that drain.
Okay, you and I are just gonna have to, I don't know if we have to hire a surveyor or not, but we may not to get any kind of meets and bounds description. But if there is a retaining wall, then, I don't know, I'll come up with something for y'all.
All right. That sounds great.
I'm just on the record as saying, there could be a potential challenge, but I doubt there will be one, right?
Okay,
Is that helpful?
it's very helpful. So,
Okay.
On the big map.
So we'll get the order approved as written, and we will update the plan that is attached to it, just the map to carve out this building.
That's the way we did it.
Okay,
And I'll figure out a way to.
It's in
carve it
yours.
out.
all right.
Yeah,
Sounds
our
good.
line out
Thank
east
you,
of
Eric.
town's the same.
Mm-hmm. I only me and you changed it, right?
Right here Jefferson Street.
Yes, the only change was Old Israel.
But like I say, this, it doesn't depict this in this map right here, so I don't know what this, I'm just
Okay.
hoping this isn't official because it, see, that's,
Carrie, can you get the maps? We need a clearer map on everybody's boundaries. Because one of these maps,
Proposed boundaries.
or the proposed boundary, because one of these maps shows Indian Hills.
This is what we would have had to do if we were gonna carve
Indian
this,
Springs, excuse me.
this block back out into
Okay,
precinct
so-
4, we would have had to pick up that into precinct 3. So
Correct.
that's just
oh,
the-
so you're just doing a comparison between this
Yes.
voting block and that out there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we're voting on the map you sent us.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
what we're wanting to approve, so
I
this
just
is.
wanna make sure.
This
By
is
doing
just
this.
if we ended up
If
having
Do
to
you have
do
a copy
that.
of that map?
Yeah, let me print that out.
This is not the one that we're actually.
No.
No,
'Cause I was
this
gonna say,
is,
I was like,
this is,
Y'all got Indian Springs.
and no, after you
I don't
contacted
need, I don't
her,
need nothing with that many
then
votes.
she started, she and Eric started trying to play with the numbers to see what it would have to look like.
Okay.
And so that's what this is, so we're muddying the waters.
Yeah, she's gonna get us a
So we're
map
gonna
of what
get-
is actually proposed.
Just throw that one away, Russ.
Instead
I
of.
thought we were trading Indian.
Hang on,
I thought
what?
we were
What's
trading
that,
Indian.
Sarah?
Sorry, is there a way, instead of rearranging the EOC, Jamie's courtroom is long, right? And right behind that is,
That's Darwin's office.
Okay, Sarah, that's why it's gonna have to be on an agenda.
I know, I'm trying to.
Well, they're actually carving this.
That's-
Sorry.
So we will figure something out, but that's why I'm saying it has to be on a future agenda.
Oh, okay.
Because today, for this, we can only discuss this.
Yeah, we have to,
We can't
No, we'll
discuss
just
solutions to our
stand.
building issues.
we can only discuss this
Because
map and
we can
approve
only
it or
just-
I'll
not.
draw some stuff.
But we may have found a way to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Where we don't have to use.
Yeah,
We're at
yeah,
that.
and it becomes a moot point if we are able, with our maps, to just cut this building out and put it into 4, then we'll be fine.
Can't use
I'm
a
just trying
plat.
to think of a plan
Yeah, you
B.
can use plat.
What's that?
I said, I'm just trying to think of a plan B.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your plans can only involve lines on geographical patterns.
Look.
Yeah, I mean, that creek crossing's right there, and it comes within 10 feet of this building, up to that back property line, and then that wall. And there's a house, if you use the old Woodland Road, then there's a house right there.
Yes, there
But
is.
you stay on this side of that stream.
If you use the creek, then you don't get to the
Go out
house.
to 190 and come up
The
to the
creek
back
is a
corner.
permanent marker.
Yeah,
Yep.
back of this building.
So we can do that, and we'll do that on the map, on the final map.
I just want something that will show Indian Hills on there.
I went through mine and I forgot all that, I thought it was done pretty good, I forgot about staying station and that.
Shows it over.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that bad though.
And I know this is hard to see, so I'm printing out just kind of legal size pages. More zoomed in. Pass those. Would you like a copy of the proposed boundaries map?
Cause I was looking at this in the mailbox.
That more your magnifying glass?
I've got something a
Here,
little more
Louis.
zoomed in,
Well,
based on the boundary
Is this for
lines.
Guyleen or Lewis?
Just give it to Lewis.
Okay,
I'll
Lewis.
look at it and give it back.
She has the final
Why don't you
one.
look at it and give us your opinion, Mr. Alder?
No.
Oh, come on.
It's so small, you can't.
That's what you're doing right there.
Yeah, this little deal right here.
So that is.
I guess basically
Them
mine,
colors are too close together.
mine is Long King Creek on the west side of 59.
It's all right. We have to put an entire block.
Well, I looked at it when I zoomed it on my emails,
It's in my precinct now.
pretty much.
Take care of Bob.
It's a little easier for you guys to see.
I see the truck over his office every now and then. I never see him.
Doesn't have to be
Better.
dialed in.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know,
You gotta read about it.
zoomed in on the pages that are actually.
Don't know that it has to be, but it does.
Don't go far south enough
It'll be easier to
or
see.
north enough. where we got it.
But I would like to see a detailed, because we were away from, none of us touched the courthouse but one in the last census.
That's in precinct one.
Yes.
It's in one, the courthouse, the
And
actual.
I think I picked up everything that's actually
Remember
proposed.
that? Come up there, remember we looked at it the other day, it showed us.
I had to come up there and mine went in there behind churches, one street in behind Church of Chicken and all that, and cut us out of it before we moved to it.
Well, now, right here, that's it, isn't it?
No, that's it, but unless we moved it around, because before we did not.
No, this is that little,
Yeah, that's the Jag for,
the little jag for one.
one,
Yeah, that's going up Beatty,
yeah.
Yeah,
and then down
No,
Jackson.
mine turns off right there by Galloway's Exxon and goes.
yes,
back
sir,
behind it.
yes, sir, but
I
that's,
don't know if we officially touched the courthouse or not.
I don't think you do.
I don't believe so.
No,
You don't.
Nobody.
Only one.
Only
One
one,
and three.
only one.
Only precinct one touches the courthouse.
Precinct 3 doesn't touch it?
Precinct three does, cause it's Mill Street
I
and
don't
Jackson
think-
Street is where the judicial and the,
Yes, precinct three does.
Yeah.
So you all-
Precinct three and precinct one.
He took my old.
So,
Yeah,
so
precinct
basically, the
two
what was the
and
question
four
was
do
this,
not touch
this
it.
building right here, well, this building right here is in
Four
this
comes
corner.
first.
So if we were to try to move just this building, you have to pick up this entire.
You can spit at it.
This block, right?
but not this area.
No, you wouldn't have
It
to
had no
pick it
effect
up
on us
also.
anyway.
So really, it's like almost
I don't
anything.
think I really looked at those.
Back to the precinct
No, I don't
four.
think you do. If you look
Because
at,
that pink goes across 190
But,
Where
what he
to?
said,
yeah,
is he's gonna work on a carve out for
for
us.
some reason.
that yellow line's
And
kinda
it'll basically come
Goes
across,
over
right?
misleading.
2 blocks.
This area in the red would.
It'll stay in precinct three, yeah, I'm sorry, and that's the
Okay.
proposed.
Where Jackson and Mill is where.
Thank you.
Okay, does anyone else have any questions?
This is the parking lot right here.
Carrie, would you come up here and discard everything? There was a recommendation based on the changes
Happily.
that Judge Richardson has brought to this.
Take all of these pages.
Get all of these out of the way so that there will not be any further.
Yeah, we don't need this to go nowhere.
Did you
My
get
Lord.
one that's a
I
little
sure
more
can.
detailed right there, since that's a,
Do
We
you
need
get it right
Linda over
now?
here in her big
Meeting all right?
machine.
I tried to call her earlier, see if she can.
Thank you.
Didn't answer.
I went, you have a current map book? That's what I was going by,
Yeah, I wonder if print you something.
where you can look at it.
Yeah.
So you just chunk all of these. Yeah.
I'm loving it.
Lots and lots of.
I like the folks, I like the folks out there.
We were trying to help.
Okay, anybody else?
Tried to do
Okay,
a trade with
we're
it.
gonna move forward.
I don't know, not till Ronnie looks at the map.
No, I'm good. I'm just asking her to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just got one
Okay,
printed that shows
you
him
need a motion?
details. Yes, sir.
So moved.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Purvis.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Vincent. Any further discussion or questions?
This is
Now, is this
pending,
pending?
this
The-
cut out.
The map, the order stands. The map will include the split out of this building.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Everyone okay with that?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's what he said.
Anyone else have anything to say? Otherwise, hold your peace. Yes, ma'am.
So once y'all take the vote, then it goes into effect immediately?
Yes, ma'am, because it's going to affect the elections from this point forward.
Except maintenance.
Except maintenance. At this time, we agreed on that, what, January, kind of verbally the other day.
That's, yeah, the verbal agreements
Maintenance will
between
not.
you all.
Only voting block.
Emily, the maintenance, the commissioners' maintenance will not be impacted immediately because the budget has already been developed and they already have their plans for how they do maintenance of those streets and so forth. They will all, you know, each one, wherever they touch, will come up with agreements on how to proceed.
You can pave all mine between that, I knew you could tell me Jerry nice.
They are
Okay.
paid.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries.
Are they?
Not all of them.
They're pretty good shape.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Commissioner Overstreet, second Commissioner Purvis. What time is it, Madam Clerk?
1:37.
No, it's,
Thank
there's,
you.
Bob and Miss Colleen.
no, they're not.
See, you got road in there. They ain't in the mud.
Don't leave anyone just yet.